Good afternoon, and welcome to the InTraining webinar today, brought to you by InAlliance. This webinar is paid for by the Illinois Main Street program through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Today's topic will be the Facebook MBA. My name is Todd Tracy. I'm a partner with InAlliance, and I'll be hosting the event today. As we're getting started here, first thing that I'd like to do is welcome all of you. Looks like we've got several attendees online. I want to go through just a little bit of housekeeping notes for you so that we can so that you can understand how to participate in today. I will be taking questions periodically throughout the presentation today. We find in the past that typically some people like to ask questions as we go along. However, for convenience sakes, a lot of people like to ask their questions at the end. You have a couple of different options. If you have a voiceover on, so in other words, you have a speaker on your computer or a microphone on your computer, you may raise your hand and I will unmute you and you can ask the question so that everyone can hear it. What a lot of people like to do is they'll use the question function down at the bottom of your screen. Just type in your question. It will flash up to me that I know that you have a question. Typically what I do is I reread the question for everybody and verbally answer it instead of just typing in a response so that everybody can participate. It's up to you how you choose to participate. We look forward to answering all of your questions today. We've allotted approximately 45 minutes for the presentation, and we will conclude once all the questions have been answered. You can see my contact information in front of you. If you have any questions outside of this webinar, feel free to email me or call me in regards to today's presentation. Also, just to let you know that this presentation is being recorded and it will be hosted on the Illinois Main Street website. Okay, with that, I'd like to get started with today's topic. The agenda today is, I'll have a short overview of what we'll be talking about. We'll go over some Facebook marketing tools. We'll answer some questions on what to post and not to post. We'll be answering or giving some ideas on how to target new customers for your existing Facebook page or one that maybe you're going to be creating. We're going to briefly go over the pay-per-click promotions that are becoming exceedingly more popular with Facebook and its users. We'll also talk about some administrative considerations as well as touch on some legal aspects of your Facebook page. And then we'll also touch on the various Facebook pages, including personal, fan, and group pages. I would want to bring to your attention that the primary function of today is to specifically talk about how your fan page, or as they were called previously, the business page. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. It's very clear, I think, to most people in today's multifaceted media world that everyone, especially in the Main Street, in the business of Main Street, should be on Facebook. That includes not only your Main Street organizations, but also the businesses and services that you cater to in your district also should probably be on Facebook. If you're a product-based business, and most service-based businesses have found that Facebook is definitely a way to drive traffic. One thing that needs to be made clear from the upfront is whether it be your organization or relay this to your businesses, the use of Facebook to hard sell services or products is extremely frowned upon. Matter of fact, Facebook was created to be a social network, and it was meant to be connect people with people and friends with friends, and it should remain that way. Even though business can definitely use it to promote itself and can definitely use it to drive traffic to not only its website but to its to ring its cash register, it needs to be known that that's only okay 15% of the time, and then again 15% of your posts, 15% of your promotions, 15% of your pictures or whatever should be in what we consider to be hard selling. We'll talk about that more throughout today's webinar. The next thing that you need to know how to do is engage your customers. This becomes a topic that I know that when I've given these presentations in the past, the question always was, what exactly does engage mean? For the purpose of this presentation and how that you marry up with Facebook and understand what your roles and responsibilities are with it, engage is not defined by the number of fans that you have. It's not uncommon. I've worked with several businesses and Main Street organizations that have literally thousands of fans. And when you go to look at their posts and pictures, there's only a handful of likes, very few engaging conversations and that type of thing. The purpose of your Facebook fan page is to ultimately stimulate conversation. On average, only about 1% of Facebook users actively participate online, actively engage with other Facebook users. Now, this means do they comment on posts? Do they like? Do they, do private messaging? How do they interact on the Facebook page? Do they engage in general conversation? It's only about 1%. However, don't be alarmed that you're only reaching 1% of your fan base. It does not mean that they're not reading it. It just means that they are not engaging per se in the discussion. And we're going to talk about ways to stimulate that conversation, and you need to recognize that it is your responsibility as owner of the Facebook page for you to start the conversation in more times than not. You have 3 goals that you need to set for your Facebook marketing strategy for your district's main page, and I would recommend that you recommend this to your businesses in your district also. 1, you want to increase the number of likes. In other words, that's the number of fans. Sometimes when we talk about Facebook, there's some terms that get a little bit confusing. Fans of your business page or fans of your district's page are called likes. They like your page, they like your business, they like what you are doing. And of course they also can like photos and like posts and that type of thing. However, when I'm referring to likes in this regard, it means the number of fans that you have. Therefore, creating the amount of exposure that you will have. Another thing for goal, number 2, is you want to increase engagement. And the more that your fans engage in your page, the less likely that they are to delete your page, the less likely that they are to hide your page. And something I want to bring to your attention is when they hide your page, in other words, they hide your page from their own news feed on their wall, you will never know that. They've just hidden it, and they may not see that. So one way that you can help check to see if they have not hidden it is to try to get them to engage more, and that is the only way that you'll know. And of course, last but not least, you want to increase participation of your public in driving the public to your Main Street events and, of course, ringing the cash registers of your businesses. And that's the ultimate goal that with any marketing effort, but specifically with Facebook. Some quick tips to increase likes. I've got the little like function that says you've got over 100,000 fans. I'm hoping that all of you with your Main Street fan page have close to that. And again, I chuckle when I say that. That's a tremendous. If you do, you have a tremendous exposure with your Facebook fan page. A lot of people ask me, how many should I have? What's a magic number? Well, the magic number should be what you set for a goal for yourself. You should look at how many fans that you have now on there, and you should set a realistic goal that how many you like to increase either on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis. So if you have 500 fans, I would challenge you that in 6 months to have 1,000 fans or something to that effect. But again, it needs to be a realistic goal, and hopefully using some of the tools that I give you today in order to increase those likes. 4 years ago, when we first started really talking about Facebook and how business could use it a lot more effectively, we would just say simply go to all of your friends and ask them to like it, and they did. And then you send it out to the friends of friends and ask them to like it, and they did. Well, in the last 4 years, this became so prevalent that people now have become a lot more choosier on the pages that they like because they're just trying not to clutter up their news feed. Back when the initial, when Facebook, even though it's been around for several years, in 2007 and 8, when it really took off, we didn't have that many friends on our Facebook, and of course there was very few pages out there so we liked everything. That is no longer the case now. You have to work really hard to encourage someone to like your page, and that needs to be done outside of Facebook oftentimes. I recommend that you get the direct URL, because you have the URL is typically the name of your page, so it would be facebook.com/ whatever the name of your page is on a direct URL, and you can set that in your admin functions of your page. Promote that direct page so that people do not have to search for you. Even though they may come up in the first 2 or 3, you may have a name that's like some other page, and you don't want people liking the wrong page. So promote that URL directly in email campaigns. If you have an email list, ask your partners, whether it be your chambers, your banks, your school systems, whoever might have a database of emails out there, ask them to send this to their listserv so that and encourage them to like the page. Of course, I always recommend that you pay for those likes in some way, and that can be what you can afford, and it can be a T-shirt, it can be a Main Street Bucks, it can be an admission ticket to an event. You need to come up to what you think that you can afford in the event. You need to consider doing Facebook only specials. In other words, you give you're going to give at random 25 downtown Main Street dollars at random to Facebook only people that like the post, that share the post, whatever that might be, that you might be able to track. Another thing is, if your Facebook page is not directly on the front, on the home page of your website, you have it in the wrong place. It needs to be in the top 1/3 to 2/3 of your page, so that people can easily find your page, click it, and like it. Do not put it on only your contact page. Do not bury it anywhere in your web page. Put it right on the front. Of course, this is a Facebook MBA class, but make sure that you also do that for Twitter and any other social medias you might have, such as YouTube, Flickrs, Dig, whatever else that you might have out there. Also, you wanted to promote Facebook only deals live from events. If there's one thing I see that is very, very effective, it is the use of promoting live from the events. It encourages, especially a day-long event or an afternoon event, it encourages people. It shows up fresh in their news feed. They might not have a decision as to what they're going to do that day or that evening. They're like, wow, I'll make a decision. I'm going to go on down there. I've seen a lot of neat and cool and fun things that's going on in the downtown district that evening. Promoting live from an event is underused, and it's one of the most successful features that you can use Facebook for in promoting your downtown Main Street. I'll give you some tips here on how to increase engagement. On your Facebook fan page, as you can see by the red circle that I have on here, is that this basically you can now click on this in your status bar on your Facebook fan page, and you can create offers, events, milestones, and questions from this area. I've got an example down here of some questions that would be an example. This is a great way to engage people. It's quick. They can select from a multiple choice answer after your holiday, when your holidays are up and running. Around Christmas time, a lot of times that you're doing store window displays, and you might even be having a variety of contests going on. It's a great way to host a contest, or a great way to just get some questions out there and get people engaged. What was your favorite holiday window? Was it at Smith's? Was it at Jones's? Was it at Big John's? and have them click on it, and maybe give a prize to the business that wins this particular contest. Okay, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can also, down at the bottom, a function that you want your customers to use is the share function, and the share function means that they're sharing that post and putting it on their news feed so that all of their friends can engage with that. And you'll be able to track those shares, so you'll be able to know when that happens. You can always give away winnings and perks to the people that share the most, so keep that in mind. Another thing that you can do off the same status window is you can run a competition, an offer, or event. This can cost or this may not cost depending on how that you set this up. I put an example in here of an offer. If you become a fan of our Main Street page, you will receive a certificate or a check for $5 worth of Main Street bucks to be used in our downtown. Of course, I put the redeem the offer at your website. You'll see a lot of slides in the next part of the presentation where I'm engaging the Facebook with the website. I have a lot of questions that have come up in the past. Our website costs us so much to have. It's it's costing us $50,000, $100,000 a month, depending on how that you're hosting it, depending on whether or not you can do the maintenance on it yourself or if you contract out. I just want everybody to be very clear that Facebook is not a substitute for a web page and should never be considered a substitute for a web page. If I were teaching a website development MBA session in this webinar, I would be showing you how in the funnel effect that social media such as Facebook funnels visitors to your website. That, of course, is your ultimate goal. And you want to make sure that most of your engagement when you are having sign-ups for registrations, whenever you are doing these offers of any time, make sure that those are hosted on your website and use this as a medium to transfer those people from Facebook on over to your website, and don't let them get closed in or let them get locked in on your Facebook. Okay. One way that I see underused in engagement is a lot of businesses, a lot of Main Street programs like to deliver information. They like to say, we are hosting an event this Saturday, please come out and enjoy all the great things we're going to have. Well, that closes the conversation. It's just one-sided. It's a telling function. It's letting people know of a date, but it doesn't really encourage engagement. Though those type of posts are okay, they definitely reach a certain market, but just remember in the news feed that as soon as it posts, typically within 30 minutes to an hour, however many people that you have on your fan list, only a small percentage are going to see those because it goes on down their news wall. And that's why that Facebook cannot be used in lieu of a website, because the information disappears. One of the questions, or one of the things I have to address a lot when I'm working with businesses on their Facebook page, is they believe that their fans are so engaged with them that they will click on their Facebook page to go back through old posts to find information. This simply does not happen, or it happens so rarely that it cannot be considered a part of your marketing arsenal. So in other words, once you make the post, you've got to assume that it will be seen in the next hour or so, with some being seen later, and that post will never be seen again. So it's not uncommon for events and different things that are coming up to post several times about these dates, and those need to be kept clear. Okay, I've got an open-ended question here. What was your favorite memory of the downtown holiday parade? Many of you have events that have been going on 5, 10, 20, 50, a number of years, and there's a lot of history and nostalgia involved with some of your events. Sometimes it's great to go back memory lane and post pictures from years past of the events, as well as engage people in conversation about their favorite memories of those type of things. So in other words, look for questions that you think would stimulate the greatest amount of conversation on a regular basis. Make sure that you use your virtual tools that you have as a marketing tool. Make sure that you take quality photographs. I've always talked about, for the last 25 years, I've talked about using quality photographs in all of your marketing efforts. However, with today's equipment, even including the Android and iPhone cameras, with a minimum of 8 megapixel oftentimes on up, it's not hard to get quality pictures. So the depth and color and lighting of the pictures are usually a given, even with your handheld camera phones. However, just make sure that they are framed correctly, and make sure that that everybody in the photo should be in the photo, and make sure that the photo makes a statement of some kind. The one drawback that I see, especially with people that I call, your shutterbug types that love to take pictures and love to glance through pictures. Your audience does not necessarily like to do this. Some do, some don't. So our good rule of thumb is to put your pictures up in albums in multiples of 4, and don't have any more than 16 in any one album. And you're saying, oh, guys, I had a great big event. There's no way I can get everybody's picture in there. There's no way. Make multiple albums. Look for different times to use those photos, because, quite frankly, any photos over 16, they get glazed. And you probably have all seen this on your personal pages, when your best friend or your coworkers or whatever might go on a trip to Disney World. Instead of hand-selecting the pictures, they just dump everything off their SD card and upload it to Facebook, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's 270 pictures of the same picture of the beach, and that is rather boring. Well, that happens with any pictures that are out there. So make sure that you are picky about what pictures that go out there. Make sure the pictures all make a statement, and try to you're better off with a few quality pictures than a lot of pictures that don't really make a statement. Make sure that you take pride and brand of your district, and make sure that this pops up often on your posts and in your pictures. If you have logos and you have colors and you have recognizable items, not only from the organization, from the district, but make sure that you post these from time to time, because this will help brand your website, or brand your Facebook page, so that people, when they start seeing these colors and when they start seeing these logos, they start seeing that there's something going on in the downtown. One thing that I like to see is take a few pictures from your businesses that maybe they're hosting events, maybe they have products of some kind, and emboss and or watermark some of those pictures in the lower right-hand corner, maybe lower left-hand, something like that, with your organization's logo, so that you can show that that is a Main Street business in your district. It's a way to brand those businesses separate from your the areas and on the outskirts of your community. You probably have swag, and if you don't have it, your businesses in your district have some sort of swag of some kind. We recommend that you promote these on a regular basis. Put those up so that people can get their hands on this stuff. Facebook is a great way, especially if you put links to an online ordering thing. It's a great way to get spontaneous buyers to purchase these type of items. And of course, the Facebook page is a great way to market these type of items, better than really a more stable and stagnant maybe website that you might have out there. Make sure that you work with your businesses. I'm assuming that the biggest part of your businesses or some of your businesses have their own Facebook fan page. They may be used frequently. What I see a lot is the businesses use them a lot in maybe the first month that they get on Facebook, and then they start losing content and forgetting content and don't post real regularly. A Facebook fan page that does not have regular posts is completely worthless and should not even be out there. Matter of fact, it's a detriment. When you have a Facebook fan page and a new person wants to like that page, they go to it and they haven't seen a post in the last 2 years. First, they won't like it. Second thing, they're like, what is up with this company? This is where I get my information. That's the question that they are going to be asking themselves. So those type of businesses that don't promote themselves through Facebook, this is a great place for Main Street to step in and start promoting the various programs and services going on outside specific Main Street services. Okay, so make sure that you put those up periodically. What I recommend is you work with your Main Street district and make that a part of your services that you offer. Maybe make it part of your donations and or I hate to use the term memberships, but you all know what I'm talking about. But your membership fee schedules that you might have, use that as one of the perks that you will promote their business. Guaranteed twice a month or however it might be, for X amount of dollars, 4 times a month for a more of a premium a fee of some kind. But you will give exposure to your fans and of course all the shares for what they have going on. This tends to be another weakness of not only Facebook fan pages but of businesses. They don't encourage the check-ins. It's very important that when customers engage not only your businesses in the community, but they also engage the district itself. Have them check in and do some sort of, you can always do some sort of competition in that regard to whoever does the most check-ins. Whoever check-ins the most places in the Main Street District wins a prize of some kind, wins a premium of some kind. It's a great way to encourage those people. And depending on how the Facebook fan pages are set up, and there's a lot of problems, I always get the question, well, how do I know if they checked in? What can I do? What I recommend is this becomes a great place for the Main Street office, the bricks and mortar aspect. Have the people come in and have them show you on their phone, because they have to have their phone to check in, have them show you their Facebook fan page and have them show you all the check-ins that they had. Whoever has the most in a particular day or in the evening or whatever gets a prize. There's all kinds of ways that you can do this, but the check-ins are free promotion that goes out to the friend base of those people that check in, that they are enjoying and they are participating in that business and or the Main Street District. Okay, as I began in the beginning of my conversation, I talked about how Facebook in itself is not necessarily set up to specifically help you as a business, you as a district, and or in your businesses within your district to grow and use it to promote their services and products. It is a social network, and I cannot iterate this enough. So it's important that you keep Facebook social. I always tell when I'm instructing this in a classroom setting, I look at everybody in the room and I say, listen, it's just like we're all here. Let's assume this is a big Main Street gathering. It's our annual dinner. It's an annual event. Well, we don't just come and bark out things that are happening in our lives, and we don't just come and post two-dimensional thoughts and that type of thing, and then walk away and do that to the next person, next person, next person. No, we engage them. It's how are you doing? How's your family doing? How's your business doing? I saw on your Facebook that you went here. Tell me more about that. You engage in conversation. This is exactly the way that you need to take the two-dimensional aspect of Facebook and make it more three-dimensional to get people to think, to get people encouraged to talk and converse with your business on Facebook. I get a lot of questions about how often should I post. Well, the thing is, any more than 3 posts a day, probably you're either going to get unliked or you're going to get hidden. Most people don't mind seeing their friends and family post more than a few times a day, and even that I do know those get blocked also. But businesses, if it looks like you're promoting too much, if it looks like you're taking too much of their, basically they look upon their real estate as their Facebook wall. If you're taking too much of their Facebook real estate, they will block you. So no more than 3 posts per day. 1 to 2 is fine. I like to say no more than a minimum of 1 per day, and that's whatever day. If you want that 7 days a week, that's fine. Normal work weeks are fine. Saturdays are good for Main Streets because you have a lot of events, you have a lot of things going on Saturdays, so it's okay to post on Saturdays. Sundays, it depends on whether or not you got events going on or what you have. You know, if your Main Street is alive on Sundays, I recommend you post on Sundays also, but that's up to you. There is, for Main Streets, there's no specific certain time. I would recommend that if you do post, do it around when people get to work, or they are getting on, if they work from home, or if they are housekeeper, or if they are stay-at-home moms or dads or whatever that we might have there. They get on at certain times of day too. So typically it's in the morning between 7 and 9. People get on Facebook. 11 from 1, right around the lunchtime. They're either on it during lunch, or they just as soon as they get back from the office, or back from once in the office, they'll get on it. And then, of course, 4 to 6 into the workday. When they get home, they might get on it. And also, don't forget about between 9 and 10:30. Okay, that's when a lot of people are on it right before they go to bed, looking through that day's posts and things like that. Definitely, if you're going to do the 9 to 10:30, never do a hard sell at that point. That is a sure way to get you unfriended. Okay. All right. I recommend that you post news articles. I'm going to give you some ideas of some things to post on a regular basis. News articles with anything that is remotely regarding your business. Even if you've seen it on another Facebook post, make sure that your page creates a link to it. Your local media, other bloggers, other news channels that you might have that service your district, those already have a believable base to them. They already have a following. They already are incorporated and indoctrinated into the media resources for the people of the district, so make sure that you link to those. Any business updates, anything that's going on. I don't care if they wash their windows. I don't care if they get a new awning. I don't care if they use the facade program. I don't care if they are having a sidewalk sale. I don't care if they're having a sale inside the store, online, whatever that might be. Engage the business and show your businesses that not only wherever they're promoting it, you're promoting it on your district's on Facebook page also. Make sure you promote all of your events, and do not discount promoting live from the events. Posting pictures, uploading them. We're going to talk about how it seems like a lot for you to do yourself, and I'm going to talk to you about some admin rights at the end where you can get some help with this and not lose control of your Facebook page. Another thing for districts, don't forget about emergency notifications. So if you've got snow removal, if you've got some street maintenance going on, something like that, post it here. If it's linked to an article, post it on your Facebook page. What you want your overall trying to accomplish is you want your Facebook fan page to be a one-stop resource for its fans to know what's going on in your district. Any awards and any important dates that might be taking place, make sure that those are posted on a regular basis. Now, over to the right, I've got some areas that you need not to post. Any uncorroborated material. If it can't be proven factual, do not take a chance and put it on your Facebook page. I will not mention the community. It was outside of Illinois, but not far. Had a Main Street community that on their Facebook page not too long ago listed a business, and so sorry to see a business was going out of business. This, in fact, was not the case and was a rumor, and it really caused a lot of issues for not only the Facebook manager, Main Street manager that posted that, but also for the business in general. So you want to make sure that you post only facts. Don't spend a lot of time posting redundant material. post links to your website from your Facebook, but don't repost a lot. You'll have some that will be redundancy, but don't just try to recapitulate your Facebook with your website. Keep them separate. Any non-essential information, keep that at a minimum. Okay? Showcasing businesses. Photos and videos, they are number one and number two. Do not downplay the importance of videos. A lot of people don't realize that the behind Facebook and Twitter, YouTube is a close second to Twitter, but Facebook is the number one social media. Twitter's number two, and YouTube is the number three where people get their social media information. Videos are well watched and are especially well watched by the under 25-year-old age group. This is where they're getting their video media, is from YouTube videos. So post videos of businesses, of products, of events that are going on. They do not have to be, super professional quality, but they have to make a statement. They have to say something. So make sure that your videos at least are clear in quality, as well as if there's any. One thing I see a lot is the dialogue is hard to hear. Make sure that the voice is directed to the speaker on whether you're using a phone or a camcorder or whatever that you're using to produce at least an amateur quality, good quality video to professional grade standard. Make sure that you list any articles to their accomplishments. So you might have if you have a real estate firm or an insurance firm in your downtown, you might have an agent that's taken a promotion or has reached a certain sales level. You'll see that in the newspapers. You'll see it other places. But make sure you promote it on your district's page also. Any milestones and any new products or services, make sure that you showcase these for businesses and encourage your businesses. When their truck shows up to their business, and they've got a new product line that they're going to get on the shelves that afternoon, make sure that you've got the dialogue set with them, that they give you a call or email you links to information about this so that you can get it promoted on your district's page. What not to post. Again, this relates back to the previous slide. If you cannot thoroughly, if you have not thoroughly reviewed it, do not just post a video or photo that somebody has sent you until you have looked at it thoroughly, and your Main Street staff or administrators, whoever's in charge of your Facebook page, make sure that they've looked at it and make sure that there is not any offensive material or that it is that it's not Main Street related. So if it's Main Street related and it's quality material, make sure it gets posted. Event notice and broadcasting. You need to make sure that you do photos and videos from the event. Post-event are great. People like to see if they know anyone in the pictures. They like to see what they maybe missed. There's all kinds of reasons that people go to the photos. Grandma wants to see if the grandchild was there. The grandkids want to see if they see themselves there, see any of their friends. There's any number of reasons that the pictures post-event will be well circulated. But rarely are those pictures as looked at as the ones that are live from the event. And don't forget, you can post live videos from the event. And there's other social media out there that you can actually produce live, like I think the thing's called Bamboozle, that you can use, that you can produce live video from your phone or your tablet, that type of thing. So we'll talk about that more in the promotion at the end of this presentation. Any interviews or quotes from the events, those are always great. Those are great to put on videos too, just corner somebody and ask them if it's okay if you publish it to your Facebook page or YouTube or wherever it's going to put, and ask them a few questions about how a great time that they're having. So where you're actually producing video content, not waiting for the media to do other. Make sure that you don't disclose a lot of personal content about somebody unless you get their permission first. That includes their name, any other thing that they might have. So make sure that you get their permission and it can be verbal. I like to get it captured in the video if at all possible. But you can also have just a standard consent agreement that you can have with you anytime you're doing events that they can sign off on. Also, do not post lengthy videos. And what's lengthy? Typically anything over 2 minutes is lengthy. 3 minutes is kind of outside. 30-second videos are great. People love them, and I love them. You love them. You can get a lot of information quickly, and it's a lot of fun to look at these short videos. And again, like I said, don't post too many photos. It becomes very cumbersome to get through. Like I've been alluding to, produce news instead of publishing news, okay? You want photos on the public domain, such as Flickr. You want videos in the public domain, such as YouTube. You might notice that I've got videos highlighted in each one of these slides. The purpose of that is because I want to bring your attention to videos. If I see one thing underused by Main Street districts, it is videos. Produce a lot of videos. They really are well received, and it's a lot of fun for you to make, as well as it is fun engaging for your business district to see a live production. You want to make sure that you drive discussion to news articles and platforms that you can control. One thing that I really am on the fence right now is the number of news sites that allow for the comment section. It seems like we've taken free speech to a level now that just allows anybody that's got anything remotely on their plate, they want to just kind of put it up on a blog, or they want to put it on as a comment into a news article and see where it flies. And this could happen with your Facebook page also. So you want to make sure that you have articles that you can control and that you give your a good perception of your district. Don't post any uninteresting anything. And again, like I said, if it remotely could be false, don't post it. You will be found out in this day and age. Okay, you want to make sure this is how you reach your customer. You want to interact with them, and that is the key. You want to, if anybody makes a comment on one of your Facebook posts, comment back, engage them. It's very important. Go to people's personal pages and engage them there. Go to like pages, like you might have a Chamber of Commerce, you might have a Boy Scout page, or you may have another organization page. It could be church's page, whatever. Log in as your Facebook fan page, as your district's page. Log in and engage them from the district page instead of just you personally. It's a great way to get interaction across multiple pages this way. You want to make sure that your content is for the people that frequent a lot of your Main Street activities, or some of your Main Street activities, as well as the people that have never been there before, either new people to the community, people outside of your community, or people that have moved in, or just maybe a new younger crowd that hasn't participated. Just make sure that your content is for everyone, and that you have that you have enough posts and pictures that reach as many people as you possibly can. This one is very difficult sometimes, and you all know probably somebody's chuckling if looking at bullet point 3. You want your businesses in your district to play along with your Facebook concept, and that means giving you information that you can help promote them. And sometimes it's literally like pulling teeth. You got to go do it yourself, or you need someone to get that information out. So come up with a plan that you can engage the most businesses possible and get them seeing the benefit of growing your Main Street district, so that you can promote the district in general and not just your organization. Lastly, make sure that you leave your brand, the awesome image of your Main Street, leave that all on your website. And then talk everything up on social media. Make everything really colorful, make everything really exciting, make it fun, make it like you're at the party. Here's the big 3 of engagement. When you're engaging, you've got to have personality, conversation, and interesting. Some of you are better at this than others. Some really have embraced Facebook and have a lot of fun with it. Others are a little standoffish from it, maybe not understand all the details of it. I recommend that if you are the lone administrator of the Facebook and you are the person that doesn't really like to talk on Facebook, that you appoint someone else to be a co-administrator. We'll talk about some of the details there as I finish up the presentation that can help with that. Okay, sometimes it's a good project for youth to do, especially if they've got good writing skills, if they've got good people skills. It may be a good thing for them to work with you on managing your Facebook fan page. Don't be afraid of humor. Humor sells. Funny photographs are and funny videos are some of the most viral medias that we have today. And by viral, it goes across multiple platforms and typically very fast. Use humor, but make sure that it is a quality of humor that is not does not inflict any type of negative conversation, and that's what you're trying to stay away from. You want to show the passion for Main Street. You want to show your passion for all your businesses, and make sure that the wows and the ooh-ahs and how cools, and use a lot of flavorful language as though you're conversing. Not really looking for the two-dimensional language that you might have, which explains things on your website. Use very conversational language on Facebook. Make sure you know about the topic you're talking about. So if you're promoting a business, make sure that you understand what that business sells and what they're all about. Conversations, just like it is at any party that you go to. Listen, then speak. Don't make any assumptions as to what somebody is trying to get to until they've fully expressed themselves. If there's a controversy, and it typically does happen with organizations, just handle it with tact and respect, and always make sure that you list it in the post if there is any type of controversy. Say, could I have your name and number, or private message me, and I will call you immediately to discuss this. That way the public knows that you are trying to address this and getting it off of Facebook where it really has no place in the first place. Lengthy conversations are rare, so you don't have to worry about it. Typically, a few posts and in and out, and that's a conversation on Facebook. However, sometimes certain topics do get a little lengthy. You really want to kind of avoid those. Lengthy conversations, I've seen more times than not, tend to lead to negative conversation. You want to make sure that you seek the answers and listen to opposing views if there are any. So make sure that you well-rounded, and don't take ownership of an idea until that you have clearly understood what the party is getting at. Want to make sure that you have any comment on other sites, and make sure that you do that often. That allows your Facebook to cross platforms and to cross other pages, so that you can bring people hopefully back from that page to your own page. Keep it interesting. Inform, educate, and answer questions. That's what people are interested in finding from your page. Develop a clear strategy and set your goals. You want to define the content. You want to know who's responsible for this content. You want to clarify if there's a desired outcome. You want to define the measure. And this simply works out to an example like this. You want to increase participation at your events that you're promoting on Facebook by 35%. I left it open-ended. Is that 35% at the end of the event? The next 3 events this year? That's up to you. But make sure that you have a very definable goal in there, that you can see if what you're doing is working. Empower your district to engage with not only your Facebook page, but with their own, and try to grow the social media promotion within your district. Kind of what I've seen, these bubbles inside this funnel tends to be what kind of cooperation you'll get. The most really can. They can do it. You got some that can't, though, especially people that are not real Facebook savvy, maybe not be real computer savvy. Those are the people that are going to be difficult to do this, and either give them training, host training for them, or give them some way of understanding how to do it, or just wait for the businesses to evolve for the more that can. And then you have the ones that just plain won't. There's not a whole lot that you can do with those. So what I recommend is that you focus on that on the main bubble. Focus on those that can. That will be the ones that will help you engage the most. Facebook ads. I'm going to go through this rather quickly. This is really a topic, another webinar all in itself, because it is one of the more complicated aspects of Facebook if you haven't done it already. However, if you haven't done it, I would encourage you to look into it and talk it over with your board, because there's a lot of bang for your buck, more than conventional advertising, because you can specifically target who you're trying to reach. And if you do any type of advertising for your district now, this is a great way to not only increase likes, increase fans for your page, but also to promote certain events and promote other aspects of your district. You can target the ads, as I alluded to. And now, as of the first of the year, actually at the end of 2012, Facebook, as we all know, continually changed things. They like to call it evolving. I just call it changing and making things complicated or taking away things that you really like and it's not there. We all know how that goes, but they have done one thing nice with the fan pages. They have made it where you can shotgun approach, that you can hit a lot of people in an area, or you can do a keyhole where you can specifically do a pay-per-click type thing. You get to choose that now. Whenever you're setting up Facebook ads, you want to decide what you want to advertise. Is it just your page in general? Do you want to advertise an event? Do you want to advertise a promotion of some kind? But you get to pick what you're going to advertise. You want to define your objectives, and you can list that all in your ad. You want to say, okay, I'm trying to reach this amount of people. I've got a women's night out type event, so I'm only targeting women over the age of 21 because there's going to be some wine tasting or something like that. You can specifically define all of that now, and you can define those within a certain region. That can be your district, it can be your county, it can be outside your county, which I definitely recommend for a lot of your events. You can determine if you want to promote a sponsored story or simply an ad. An ad typically just is in the far right corner. You've all seen those out there. Sponsored stories show up not only on the right side, but they also show up in your news feed. So you get to engage them in a couple of different ways. Of course, you pay for both of those. It's a little bit complicated. Again, and this is, if you got any question on this, reach me after this. I'll be glad to go into more detail. But during this step of the process, you want to determine, how much that you're willing to spend. If you click on sponsor stories and ads, just keep in mind that roughly 50% of what you say that you want to spend half of it will go to ads, and the other half will go to a sponsored story. So if you do only ads, it will all go to an ad. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. It's a little bit complicated. Okay, you can now do your bidding options up at the top. Again, this may be a little bit hard to see. There's a lot of content here, but I'll just describe it to you. This, you can, up at the top, you can pick that if you want to do for the number of impressions, and you pay for number of 1,000 impressions that you get. So in other words, in your targeted area, everybody that has a Facebook page in that target area, when they pull up their Facebook page, and there's 1,000 of them, you pay so much per those 1,000 impressions. Down here at the bottom, you can also pay per click, and you can set an allotment that you can either pay per click, pay per day, pay per week. So you set your budget, and it will talk. And when you set your budget, it will tell you approximately how many that you will reach in that given time within your target. As you can see, this particular campaign here that I plugged in here is going to cost roughly $1.23 per click. Okay. So this may not be something that your district can afford, so you have to change how you want to do that. You might say, maybe I can't do the pay-per-click to where they actually click on it. I'll just pay per impression because it's a lot cheaper. My board can approve this type of budget, and we will hope that we will get several likes out of that. By the way, once you do one of these campaigns, you can go back to the analysis of it, and you can see if people saw it from the impression or they actually clicked through whenever they liked your page or liked your event. So you can see what worked and what didn't work. It's pretty neat, all the metrics that you can do with Facebook now. Very quickly, just a court section on about the law. There's a lot of myths out there about what to post and what you're safe for doing. I'll just tell you that I don't have my attorney hat on. I have no intention of putting it on this afternoon with you. Just remember, common sense goes a long way. If you feel remotely that there may be something controversial about something that you're posting, just plain don't post it. When it comes to pictures and other things that are out there, since it is a Facebook page and it's becoming, and you are putting it on a public page, all the Facebook fan pages are public. Typically, the law looks at it like this, that if the person that is offended by the content, they have to contact you civilly. And that can be just through a Facebook message, phone call, email. They can come into your office, say, hey, I don't like that. It is your responsibility to take it down immediately. If you don't, that's where legal proceedings typically take place. So just have it in mind. If somebody gets offended for any reason at all, and don't try to argue with them. Don't try to say, hey, that was not your intention. Just say, I'm sorry that you see it that way, and we will take it down immediately. Okay? As I mentioned, I don't have any intention to put my legal hat on, but I just do want to make something, bring it to your attention. In Illinois, as in most states, if you publish something, pictures taken in public, there can be some objections to that by the people that are in the photos. Of course, the safest way is to get written consent from everybody that's in the photo, and we all know how difficult that is, if not impossible. For the most part, if you're not using it for commercial basis, in other words, you're not using it in your brochures, you're not using it as a banner ad or your cover page photo or your icon photo, do not use those without permission of everybody in there. If it's only going up into an album or just a picture from the event, there's very little liability on you, even if there's children involved. Okay. However, look at this slide. If you want to have 100% protection, you would get consent from everybody that's in the photo. And I always have to say that, even though I have rarely seen this ever be an issue. Make sure that you don't allow any type of negative or I should say off-color statements or obscene statements to take place on your Facebook. What I recommend is that your board have a notice and takedown policy. It would go along with any type of social media policy that you might have. Just basically inform the public that if they use off-color language, if they use anything that is condescending or detrimental to the main street, you have the right to delete it, because it is your page and it's a promotion page for district. It is not their page. Remember this. It's not a public page. Here's administrator considerations. Keeping track of Facebook and keeping track of all that you need to do is very, very difficult. What I recommend is you add other people to help you out. When you go to your administrative section of your Facebook page, you'll have a manager, content creator, moderator, advertiser, and insight analysis. The manager is the one that actually controls the page. If you have two managers, keep this in mind. One of the managers can delete the other manager and take control of the Facebook page. So I recommend that you have one manager, no more than two. Could be like a board director and maybe the staff member, or however that you might want to set that up. And then everybody else that you appoint to this to be a content creator. Okay? So this kind of gives you a check mark list. It kind of shows you what the various administrative functions are. Hopefully something there, I would hope that if you can work yourself to find other people to help you with, that you sign up several content creators. And don't forget, and again, anybody that knows me that's online here knows that I always promote youth and in Main Street programs, but it's a great job for a high school student that has good writing skills and is functional in Facebook, which most high school students are functional in Facebook. I recently did a presentation at a community college 2 weeks ago, and in a room of 400 incoming freshmen or next year freshmen to the community college, there was 390 of the 400 students, high school students in that room, raised their hands that they currently do have a Facebook page. Only 10 did not. So keep that in mind. Okay. All right, and then finally, there are other things besides the page that we talked about. Of course, you have to have a personal page in order to create a fan page. So if you don't have, for any reason, a personal Facebook page, you will have to get one to create your page. And then don't forget, you can also create group pages. Group pages are great at, like, maybe your use it for your downtown district, for all your businesses, including your Main Street. It's a great way they can engage more privately with each other to share ideas. So it's a whole other topic out there, is talking about the other types of pages, but just want to let you know that that is available and very easy to set up. Okay. Questions? I didn't see a lot of coming up during the presentations, but if you want to type them in, or if you want to say it verbally, just raise your hand and I'll be glad to address any that you might have. I've got the next 6 hours, so fire away. Okay, any questions at all that you can see? Okay. Okay, yeah, I've got a couple here now. Okay, I'm going to read this question. It says, we had a personal page created for our organization, and that seems to be the one that everyone sends requests to. How do I get rid of that page? We do have a fan page. I want to use that only. Okay. That is a question I see more and more. When the fan pages first came out, they were a little bit late in getting here, and if you got on Facebook in the early years, everybody just created a personal page and made it their business page. What I recommend doing is set a target date that you are going to do away with the personal page. And you need to post this regularly on that personal page with a link to the Facebook fan page. Say, listen, we are going to start doing all of our content over on the Facebook fan page and known as personal. From that point forward, I would also start hosting certain perks, certain winnings, certain prizes that you're going to be hosting on that Facebook fan page that are not eligible on that personal page. In other words, you're buying people to get off of the personal page and go to the Facebook fan page. You may get to the very end and that you've got a drop-dead deadline, and I recommend spending about 30 days to 2 months in moving everybody from the personal over to the business page. You may get to the very end and you may lose some people. What I'd recommend is you can click on all those personal people and you can send them a message with a link saying this website or this personal page is going to be deleted at such and such date, which is about a week from now. We would encourage you to go to this page and like it. If they do not, they didn't want to like it in the first place and they don't really care. Okay, so that's the steps and processes that I would go through. Okay. All right, next question. Hold on just a minute. I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Okay, so the question is, can you explain the cost-related options on Facebook in more detail? Whenever you're looking at the cost functions, the only cost is if you're going to be promoting a web page through an ad or through a sponsored story. What this means is a sponsored story is per se, it's a post. It's a link. It's something that you've created on your website or on your Facebook page, and you're specifically promoting that story. And it can be also offside of Facebook. It can be a link to, say, a registration on your district's website. But whatever it is, the sponsored story, you pay for the amount of times that either it's impressioned. In other words, every time that it shows up on a Facebook feed of people that are already on your fan list, you can do only your fan list, and it will keep popping up to the top. No matter, even if they click the most recent article, that will keep popping up for a period of roughly about 24 hours. And that keeps popping up, and every time it pops up on their page, that becomes an impression. So if you have somebody that refreshes their Facebook quite a bit, like myself, a lot of people that know me I'm on Facebook quite a bit. I might refresh 100 to 150 times a day, so I could be charging you 100, 150 impressions right there from me alone. You can also charge for, you can also pay for impressions outside of your own fan list that you might have, for just people that are within, say, your county that you might have, or your zip code that you might be looking, or a variety of zip codes. So every time their Facebook fan page, for every 1,000 clicks, you're charged so much. And it's based upon to get specific in the algorithm that they use is actually beyond me, and I think they kind of keep it that way because I think it's one of the gray areas with Facebook that we have to wonder, where they come up with their actual pricing structure. What it is, it's based upon how often that particular item is searched. If, let's say that you're doing a promotion on a new hairstyle, women, we've found that use of Pinterest as well as other Facebook applications, they search and talk about their salon, or they talk about their hairstylist, or they talk about a new hair that they get, that a hairstyle that they get, that becomes something that becomes very popular. And if you were promoting something that had to do with a salon in your community, that would cost you more per impression than if something outside of that, okay, that it has less frequency of use, okay. The other side of this is not just by impressions, it's pay per click. And again, it's based upon frequency and how popular a frequency that it is, and the number of clicks that you're looking at doing. You literally can put a budget in saying, I want to spend $500 on pay per click, and it will say, I want to reach 500 people, which that'll be just pennies on the dollar per pay-per-click. Or you could say, I want to reach 10,000 or 20,000, and that could reach $1 or more per click. And but you can say, I only want to spend $500. But if you but with the pay-per-click, if they're clicking to your website, that means they're interested. That means they're probably signing up for something, and they're registering, or they're at least interested enough to go through the process. It's a lot more of a focused approach than just putting an ad in a newspaper where they have to actually go to the computer to log on instead of all being transferred straight through. Everything's based on an algorithm and budget. Clicks can cost as much as a couple of pennies per click, all the way up to $10, $20 per click. And the neat thing about it is, I encourage you to go through the process of setting one up. You don't have to commit to anything till the very end, and it will show you in the process how much your particular design that you have for your promotion, how much it will cost per click. Okay, are there any other questions? Any others? Okay, you have my contact information down at the bottom. Those were two excellent questions, and I hope that I answered those to your satisfaction. If not, you've got my email and you've got my cell phone at the bottom. Please call me at your convenience or email me. You should have I don't have it in front of me, but we will be having upcoming webinars coming up in the next couple of weeks. For those of you that are online now, IMS, all capitalized, will be the password for every single webinar. So we'll make sure that that you're notified of that. But just remember IMS, because these are Illinois Main Street sanctioned webinars brought to you through the InTraining webinar function of InAlliance. Hope to see some of you at the National Main Street Conference in New Orleans coming up this weekend, the first part of next week. My partner and Darius and I will both be doing sessions, so make sure you look us up, come to our sessions. Also, I think we're planning on attending your Illinois Main Street banquet and your little get-together that you're having your meal that evening to say hello to everybody. So look forward to seeing those of you that can make it to New Orleans, and the rest of you. Encourage your board and other volunteers to take these webinars because it benefits all, not just the managers. Have a great day, and hope to see you soon.